John Cena's heel turn in 2025 was supposed to be historic. It had been teased for years, but when it finally happened, fans weren't booing, they were confused. Even worse, respected wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer didn't hold back. He called the turn forced and fake, adding that WWE miscalculated the audience's attachment to Cena's legacy. That statement sent shockwaves through the wrestling community, not because it was mean-spirited, but because it was honest. Meltzer wasn't criticizing Cena's performance. He was exposing WWE's lack of long-term planning. In his words, the turn felt like a studio gimmick, not a storyline evolution, and the proof was all over the crowd reactions. When Cena betrayed Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber, it didn't feel like betrayal. It felt like a scripted twist from a Hollywood movie. Fans didn't gasp. They didn't turn on Cena. In fact, many of them cheered. Cena's alliance with The Rock and Travis Scott was supposed to be the formation of a dominant heel faction, but within weeks, The Rock disappeared from TV. Travis Scott's presence felt more like a marketing stunt than a serious character, and Cena was left carrying the heel angle by himself, without the proper heat to make it believable. Meltzer pointed out that this turn had no emotional foundation. There was no build-up, no slow burn, just a sudden flip with no explanation that made fans feel disconnected. What made the situation worse was WWE's handling of Cena's championship win. He walked into WrestleMania 41 and took the undisputed title with interference, controversy, and no real match quality. Meltzer compared it to past heel turns where the crowd truly turned against the wrestler, like Hogan in WCW or Roman Reigns in 2020. But in Cena's case, it backfired. Fans weren't mad, just uninterested. They kept cheering for him, even as he cheated to win. Cena was still doing Make-A-Wish appearances, showing up in Peacemaker interviews, and thanking fans online. There was no clear break between the character and the man. WWE wanted fans to hate Cena, but didn't give them a reason to. By the time Backlash came around, Cena's matches were already losing impact. He faced Randy Orton in what should have been a massive clash of legends, but it felt flat. Meltzer noted that even the crowd reactions during entrances told the story. Orton got the louder pop, Cena didn't get booed, he got half-hearted cheers. Fans weren't reacting to a heel, they were reacting to someone they've seen too much, too fast, with too little story. The match ended with another shady finish and interference, further cementing Cena's role as the bad guy. But it didn't land. At Night of Champions, the problem got worse. Cena defended his title against LA Knight, and once again, the audience didn't play along. They supported both men, chanting for Cena and Knight simultaneously. It was clear the heel turn wasn't working. Meltzer also pointed out WWE's reluctance to go all in on the character change. Cena's promos didn't change much. He didn't insult the crowd, didn't betray any values, and didn't adopt a new look or attitude. In fact, he was still using the same entrance, the same merchandise, the same "never give up" slogan. Fans didn't know how to react because WWE didn't define the shift clearly enough. The presentation was confusing. Cena was trying to play a heel, but the company was still treating him like a babyface on merchandise, posters, and marketing campaigns. Meltzer said it best: the company wanted both things at once, Cena's star power and a fresh villain arc, but ended up with neither. Behind the scenes, it's believed that Cena was hesitant about the heel turn from the start. Sources claim he only agreed to it after assurances that he'd still be protected in press and public appearances. WWE agreed, but that created a split image. On camera, Cena was cheating, mocking opponents, and winning dirty. Off camera, he was hugging fans, promoting charity campaigns, and laughing on talk shows. That contrast killed the momentum. Meltzer compared it to when Sergeant Slaughter turned heel in the 90s. Fans didn't hate him, they just didn't care. That's worse than heat, it's apathy. And that's exactly what Cena's current run has created. To make things worse, WWE hasn't committed to consistent storytelling around the heel turn. The Rock's involvement vanished with no explanation. Travis Scott hasn't been mentioned in weeks. Cody Rhodes was supposed to be the centerpiece of the feud, but he was quietly shuffled into another title picture. Cena, meanwhile, has been fighting mid-tier opponents while holding the top title. Meltzer says that's a disaster in the making. The longer WWE keeps Cena champion without a clear rival or direction, the more fans will check out. There's no chase, no build, no payoff. It's just Cena winning, retaining, and moving on. That might work for a babyface, but for a heel, it's death. The audience's reaction is proof. When Cena shows up, they still cheer. At a recent Raw taping, Cena got one of the loudest reactions of the night, and not the kind of loud booing that Roman Reigns used to get before his tribal chief run. Genuine cheers. Meltzer said if WWE really wanted to make Cena a heel, they had to go further. They had to take something from the fans, turn him into a hypocrite, make him betray someone they love. But instead, WWE took the lazy route. They relied on a one-time shock moment at Elimination Chamber, hoped The Rock would carry the story, and when that failed, they left Cena to pick up the pieces with nothing but weak promos and recycled matches. Cena's heel character lacks a philosophy. There's no reason he's turned, no explanation given, no ideology behind his actions. When Roman Reigns turned heel, it was all about the family legacy and dominance. When Triple H turned, it was about power. When CM Punk turned, it was ego. But Cena? He just attacked Cody one night and never explained why. And WWE never made him. That's why fans are confused. Meltzer says the audience is smarter now. They need motives, not just moments. Cena didn't give them one. WWE didn't either. And the worst part, Cena doesn't seem committed. In interviews, he avoids discussing the heel turn. He talks about storytelling and retirement, but never says why he did what he did. There's no passion behind it. Even in matches, he looks like he's going through the motions. Meltzer believes Cena agreed to the turn under pressure from Endeavor and WWE's creative team, who wanted to shake things up before his retirement. But the result has been lukewarm at best. That's where Meltzer's criticism hits hardest. Not that Cena is incapable of being a heel, but that WWE didn't give him a real chance. They slapped together a story, gave him a belt, and assumed his name would carry the arc. It didn't. Now they're left with a top champion that fans don't hate, a heel story that never made sense, and a legend whose legacy is being diluted by weak booking. Backstage, Cena's heel turn has caused a quiet divide. Some veterans respect his willingness to flip roles this late, but many believe it's stalling the push of full-time stars. Younger talent reportedly feel like WWE is booking nostalgia, not building the future. That criticism reflects exactly what Dave Meltzer warned about. This isn't a long-term shift, it's a surface-level pivot with no emotional depth or payoff. Cena never gave fans a reason. No villain promo, no hard line against his past, no new look, nothing. He still comes out to the same music, wears the same gear, and delivers half-hearted promos about making hard choices. WWE wanted heel Cena, but didn't go all in, and fans can tell. They're not booing because they're not even invested. Meltzer called it forced and fake for a reason, because the story didn't evolve, it just flipped. Even in matches, there's no bite. At Backlash and Night of Champions, Cena used heel tactics, but fans still cheered. His opponents like Randy Orton and LA Knight got lukewarm reactions because the crowd never turned on Cena in the first place. The booking feels like it's waiting for something to click, but it never does. That lack of urgency is killing the momentum. Worse, there's no clear next move. Cody Rhodes was the natural rival, but WWE pulled him out of the feud. Roman's still out. LA Knight isn't protected enough. Cena's holding the top belt with no meaningful challenger, no story means no stakes, and without a compelling chase, a heel champ becomes irrelevant fast. Meltzer compared this to Sargent. Slaughter's failed turn in the 90s. Audiences didn't hate him, they just didn't care. That apathy is even more dangerous than boos. It signals that fans have checked out. Cena's run hasn't just failed to make people angry, it's failed to make them feel anything. Unless WWE does a hard reset, changes the character, updates the motivation, and builds a real feud, this turn will go down as a missed opportunity. Meltzer wasn't attacking Cena the person, he was pointing out how WWE dropped the ball with one of its biggest names. A heel turn should shake the foundation, this one barely scratched the surface.